I was sitting in a beachfront bar in Costa Rica, watching my wife get served divorce papers during her couples massage with her affair partner, and all I could think was, our marriage counselor was going to be so disappointed she missed this. If you've got some time, maybe grab a drink and settle in. This one's a ride. So here's the question that probably just popped into your head. Why did I wait 3 days after discovering my wife's affair to do anything about it? Why didn't I confront her immediately? Scream, throw things, do any of the normal human reactions to finding out your spouse has been cheating on you for 2 years? The answer is simple, really. I'm an architect, and architects don't just tear down buildings. We plan the demolition carefully so everything falls exactly where it's supposed to. This is the story of how I spent $12,000 on an anniversary trip to save my marriage and another $8,000 to destroy it in the most poetic way possible. It's about what happens when the person you're supposed to be building a life with turns out to be building something else entirely. And it's about learning that sometimes the most important foundation you can lay is the one you build for yourself, alone, after everything else has come crashing down. I'm Christopher. I'm 41. I'm an architect. And for 15 years, I was married to a woman named Amanda. We met in graduate school. I was getting my master's in architecture at Berkeley. She was in the MBA program. We were both 25, both ambitious, both absolutely certain we were going to change the world. She had this energy about her, this way of walking into a room and making everyone pay attention. I was quieter, more methodical. She used to joke that I was the blueprint and she was the marketing campaign. Together, we were going to build something amazing. We got married a year after graduation. Small wedding, just family and close friends, on a beach in Mendocino. I designed the arch we stood under. She wrote vows that made everyone cry. We honeymooned in Portugal, spent 2 weeks getting lost in Lisbon and Porto, eating too much seafood, drinking too much wine, talking about the future. Kids, eventually. A house with good bones that I could renovate. Her own business someday. We had it all mapped out. The first 10 years were good. Really good, actually. We bought a house in Oakland, a 1920s craftsman that needed work. I spent weekends restoring the original woodwork while she built her career in marketing. We hosted dinner parties. We took annual trips to wine country. We had inside jokes and Sunday morning rituals, and a life that looked, from the outside, pretty much perfect. But somewhere around year 11, things started to shift. Amanda got more serious about starting her own firm. She'd been working for a big agency downtown, and she was tired of making other people rich off her ideas. She wanted to be her own boss. I supported it completely. When she found a potential business partner, a guy named David Brennan, another marketing director with 15 years of experience, I thought it was great. Smart, even. 2 experienced professionals pooling their resources. I took $30,000 out of our joint savings to help fund the startup. It was a loan, technically, to the business. Amanda promised they'd pay it back within 2 years. I didn't even hesitate. We were building something together, right? Her dream was my dream. The company launched 3 years ago. Morrison Brennan Marketing, boutique firm, high-end clients, the whole thing. And it was successful, genuinely successful. Within 18 months, they had 8 employees and contracts with some major Bay Area companies. Amanda was thriving. She'd come home buzzing with energy, talking about campaigns and client wins and 5-year projections. But she was also coming home later and later. And eventually, some nights, not at all. At first, I rationalized it. Startup life is brutal. I know that. I'd worked 80-hour weeks myself when I was younger, trying to prove myself. She was building something from scratch. Of course she was exhausted. Of course she needed to put in the time. The sex dropped off. Used to be 2-3 times a week. Then once a week. Then twice a month. Then I stopped counting because counting made me feel pathetic. She password protected her phone, said it was because of client confidentiality. They had proprietary information. She couldn't risk it. Made sense. I had no reason not to believe her. David's name came up constantly. David thinks we should pivot the brand strategy. David landed this amazing client. David and I are working late on the Henderson pitch. I never met him, though. Whenever I suggested we grab dinner with him and his wife, Catherine, a high school English teacher, Amanda would brush it off. Our schedules never line up. They're super busy with their kids. Maybe next quarter. I didn't think about it. I trusted her. That's what you do when you love someone, right? You trust them. By year 14 of our marriage, I felt like I was living with a stranger who sometimes occupied the same house as me. We'd have dinner together maybe twice a week. Conversation was surface level. How was work? Fine. How was your day? Fine. We watched different shows on different TVs. We went to bed at different times. We were roommates who occasionally had awkward, obligatory sex that felt more like checking a box than connecting. Last Thanksgiving, we had a massive fight about whose family to visit. Stupid, right? But it escalated. I said something about how she never prioritized us anymore, how everything was about the business. She said I was being unsupportive of her dreams, that I was threatened by her success. We didn't talk for 3 days after that. That's when she suggested marriage counseling. I remember the moment exactly. We were in the kitchen, December morning, both getting ready for work in silence. She turned to me and said very calmly, maybe we should see someone, a therapist. A lot of successful couples do it preventatively, before things get really bad. I felt this wave of relief. She wanted to work on it. She still cared. I said yes immediately. We started seeing Dr. Patricia Valdez in January. Nice woman, late 40s, office in downtown Oakland with those deliberately calming colors and a white noise machine outside the door. First session, Amanda did most of the talking. She used all this language about feeling unheard, about losing our spark, about how we drifted apart. I sat there nodding, thinking, yes, this is exactly it. We just need help reconnecting. Dr. Valdez asked us both, do you still love each other? I said yes without hesitation. Amanda said yes too, looked me right in the eye and said it. I believed her. We went to 6 sessions over 3 months. Amanda talked about needing space to process her feelings. She talked about how building the business had changed her, how she was discovering parts of herself she didn't know existed. Dr. Valdez nodded and said things like, that's valid and it's important to honor your individual growth within the partnership. I talked about feeling invisible, about how I wanted to support her dreams but also wanted to feel like I still mattered. Dr. Valdez asked us to do homework, date nights, active listening exercises, gratitude journals. Amanda never did the homework. She'd apologize, say she forgot, promise to do better. In our 4th session, Dr. Valdez said something that stuck with me. She said, you two are both builders. You're good at constructing things, companies, homes, careers. But relationships aren't just about building. They're about maintenance, about showing up for the small repairs before the foundation cracks. Amanda loved that metaphor. She kept bringing it up afterward. We need to focus on maintenance, Chris. We're builders. We can fix this. 2 weeks later, she suggested the Costa Rica trip. It was mid-March during session 6. Dr. Valdez had just asked us to think about ways to reconnect outside the therapy room. Amanda jumped in immediately. What if we did something big for our 15th anniversary, like really meaningful, a reset trip? Dr. Valdez smiled. That could be powerful. Where are you thinking? Costa Rica, Amanda said. She turned to me, eyes bright. You've always wanted to go, right? We could do one of those all-inclusive resorts, adventure activities, spa days, couples time, really focus on us. I'll be honest, I was thrilled. It felt like the first time in months she'd been genuinely excited about something involving me. I said yes immediately. Amanda found the resort, this beautiful place on the Guanacaste coast right where the jungle meets the ocean. Looked like paradise in the photos. Infinity pool, open-air spa, howler monkeys in the trees, the whole thing. I handled the booking because that's what I do. I'm a project manager by nature. Flights, resort package, excursions, spa appointments. $12,000 total. Worth every penny if it meant getting my wife back. The anniversary was in late April. We'd been married 15 years. 15 years of building something together, or so I thought. The 3 weeks leading up to the trip, Amanda seemed lighter, more affectionate even. She'd kiss me goodbye in the mornings. She bought new clothes for the trip, a bikini, some sundresses, said she wanted to feel confident again, wanted to feel beautiful. I thought it was for me. I was an idiot. She insisted on bringing her laptop, said there was a demanding client situation that might need attention. I didn't love it, but okay. The week before we left, she was texting constantly. I asked once who it was. She said, David, there was a crisis with a major account. He was freaking out. She needed to help put out fires before we left. The night before our flight, we were packing. Amanda's phone buzzed on the dresser. I happened to see the notification before she grabbed it. David B., it said. Can't wait for the reset. You deserve this. I thought, that's nice. Her business partner is supportive of her taking time off. Good for them, for having a healthy working relationship. Jesus Christ, I was naive. We flew out on a Saturday morning. 6-hour flight to San Jose, then a 3-hour shuttle to the resort. Amanda slept most of the plane ride. I read a book about sustainable architecture and felt optimistic. This was going to work. We were going to fix this. We arrived at the resort around 4 p.m., and let me tell you, it was stunning. The main building was all open-air design, these massive wooden beams and tropical plants everywhere. You could hear the ocean from the lobby. The air smelled like plumeria and salt. Our room had a huge balcony overlooking the jungle canopy, king bed with one of those mosquito net canopies, outdoor shower. Romantic as hell. At check-in, they gave us wristbands. The clerk explained, the gold bands are for our anniversary package guests. They get priority booking for spa services and couples activities. I looked down at my wrist. Gold band. Felt official. Felt like a new beginning. Amanda immediately went to the bedroom. I need to check email, she said. Client crisis, remember? I unpacked alone. Hung up clothes, organized toiletries, set up my phone charger. When I came back out, she was on the balcony, laptop open, frowning at the screen. Everything okay? I asked. Yeah, just David is panicking about the Henderson account. I need to put out some fires. Babe, we're supposed to be unplugging. I know. Just give me 20 minutes. 20 minutes turned into an hour. By the time she closed the laptop, it was almost 6 p.m. She suggested we grab dinner, and then she wanted to nap. The travel had exhausted her. Dinner was at the resort restaurant. Beautiful open-air space, tiki torches, sound of waves. Amanda seemed distracted, checking her phone under the table. I reached across, touched her hand. Hey, the therapist said no phones, remember? She looked up, guilty. I'm sorry, it's just David is really freaking out. I promise after tonight I'm done. Work mode off. I let it go. Didn't want to start the trip with a fight. We finished dinner, went back to the room. Amanda claimed exhaustion, went to bed at 9 p.m. I stayed on the balcony for a while, listening to the jungle sounds, trying to feel hopeful. This trip was going to save us. It had to. I woke up early Sunday morning. Architect's habit, I chase good light. The sunrise in Costa Rica is insane. These pink and orange streaks over the jungle. I grabbed my coffee from the room's service tray and went out to the balcony to watch it. Amanda was still asleep. Her iPad was on the nightstand next to her, screen dark, and then it lit up. Just a notification, brief, but I saw it from 10 feet away. iMessage preview. David B. I'm in Villa 14, same building as you. When can we... The preview cut off. I stood there holding my coffee, watching the screen go dark again. My brain tried to rationalize it. Same building. Probably a coincidence. Lots of people named David. Maybe it's a different David. Maybe it's work-related, but my hands were shaking. Amanda stirred, rolled over. I set down my coffee, picked up a book, pretended to read. She woke up a few minutes later, stretched, smiled at me. "Morning, babe. God, I slept so well. Want to grab breakfast and then maybe do that rainforest hike?" I looked at her. She looked completely normal, happy even, relaxed. "Yeah," I said. "Sounds great." She got up, headed to the bathroom, left her iPad on the nightstand. I waited until I heard the shower running. Then I picked up the iPad. She'd never changed the password. It was our anniversary date, the same 6 digits we'd used for everything for 15 years. I typed it in. It unlocked. I opened iMessages, found David B. at the top of the list. 2,428 messages. I scrolled. The earliest messages were from 2 years ago. 2 years, flirty at first, then more, then explicit, photos I didn't want to see. "I love yous," discussions about when they could meet up, hotels, excuses they'd give their spouses. Recent messages from the past week were about this trip. "Can't wait to finally have real time together." Catherine thinks I'm on a solo yoga retreat. We have until Saturday. "I'm in Villa 14, same building. We can meet up when he's doing activities." This is going to be perfect. A whole week together, basically. I kept scrolling, found financial discussions. "Just use the joint account like we discussed. List it as consulting expenses. He won't notice." I sat there on that balcony, phone in hand, watching the sun finish rising over paradise, and felt my entire world collapse. 15 years. Marriage counseling was her idea. The therapy sessions where she looked Dr. Valdez in the eye and talked about wanting to fix us. She was lying the entire time. This trip, our reset, our meaningful anniversary, the $12,000 I spent, it was never about us. It was cover for her to spend a week with him, the business loan, the $30,000 from our savings. Did I fund their affair? I heard the shower turn off. I took screenshots of everything, sent them to my private email, every message, every photo, every hotel receipt she discussed with him. Then I put the iPad back exactly where it had been. Amanda came out wrapped in a towel, happy, humming. "Ready for breakfast?" "Actually," I said, "I'm not feeling great. Stomach's weird. You go ahead. I'll meet you in a bit." She frowned. "You sure?" "Yeah, maybe I drank too much coffee too fast. I just need to lie down for a minute." She bought it, got dressed, kissed the top of my head. "Feel better, babe. I'll bring you back something." The second she left, I opened her iPad again. I needed to know more. I found deleted emails in her trash folder, David discussing their exit strategy, meaning how they'd eventually divorce their spouses and go public. I found calendar invites for client meetings in cities I could cross-reference with David's LinkedIn. Every time Amanda had traveled for work in the past year, he'd been in the same city at the same time. I checked our joint bank account, $50,000 in business expenses over the past 2 years, hotels, restaurants, gifts, cities Amanda had supposedly traveled to for work. I sat there on that hotel bed in paradise, alone, and I think I stopped breathing for a minute. Then my phone was in my hand and I was texting Marcus. Marcus Chen, my best friend since college, corporate lawyer, divorced 3 years ago. Need a referral for a divorce attorney and possibly a PI. I'm in Costa Rica. I'll explain later. It's bad. He responded in 2 minutes. Jesus Christ, man, I'm so sorry. Call me when you can. Then I know a guy, James Corrigan, Shark, best in the Bay Area. And yes, you can serve papers anywhere. Let's fucking do this. I texted back, I want to wait. I want to plan this carefully. I want this to hurt. Marcus, my guy, call me in an hour. I took a shower, got dressed, went down to the pool where Amanda was waiting at a table, fresh fruit and coffee laid out. She smiled at me. Feeling better? Yeah, I said, much better. We spent the rest of Sunday doing couple things. We walked on the beach. We had lunch at the resort restaurant. We signed up for a ziplining excursion for Tuesday. Amanda seemed relaxed, happy even. She held my hand. She laughed at my jokes. And the whole time I was watching her, studying her, wondering how much of the past 2 years had been real, how many times she'd looked me in the eye and lied, how many times she'd come home from a business trip and climbed into bed next to me, still smelling like him. Around 3 p.m., I excused myself, said I was going to grab a book from the room, maybe nap a bit. Amanda said she wanted to stay at the pool, soak up sun. I walked back toward our building, and that's when I saw him. Mid-40s fit, doing yoga poses on the deck by the infinity pool, salt and pepper hair, wearing a gold wristband. He got a text on his phone, smiled, looked up toward our building, toward the direction of Amanda at the pool. I walked past him slowly, got a good look. Definitely handsome in that distinguished older guy way, wearing expensive workout clothes, wedding ring on his left hand. I didn't confront him, didn't even acknowledge him. I went to the pool bar, ordered a beer. The bartender, name tag said Carlos, was friendly, asked how my stay was. Great, I said. Love the gold wristband thing. Makes us anniversary couples feel special. Carlos grinned. Yeah, it's popular. We have 3 anniversary packages this week. 3? Wow. Hopefully all their marriages are in better shape than ours. Carlos laughed, not knowing what to do with that. I looked around the pool deck, spotted the yoga guy again. He was at a table now ordering something. That guy, I said casually. Also an anniversary couple? Carlos glanced over. Him? No, I think he's solo. Wellness retreat or something. But he has the gold band, so maybe he upgraded. Solo. Right. I finished my beer and went back to the room. Called Marcus. Spent an hour on the phone with him, then another hour on the phone with James Corrigan, his divorce attorney referral. James had a voice like gravel, the kind of guy who's been in courtrooms for 30 years and enjoys it. He listened to everything without interrupting. Then he said, "Okay, here's what we're going to do." By the time Amanda came back from the pool at 6 p.m., I had a plan. That night at dinner, I asked Amanda about her spa plans for the week. "Oh," she said, brightening, "I booked us this amazing couples massage for Friday. It's their signature thing. Bamboo fusion therapy, super relaxing. You're going to love it." "Us?" I said. "Well," she hesitated for just a second. "It's a couples treatment, but I was thinking maybe you could do something else, and I could bring... Actually, never mind. Yeah, us. It'll be romantic." I smiled. "Sounds perfect." She reached across the table, squeezed my hand, looked at me with those big eyes I'd fallen in love with 15 years ago. "Thank you for doing this trip," she said. "I know things have been hard, but I really think we're going to come out of this stronger. We're going to be okay." I squeezed back. "Yeah," I said, "I think you're right. We're going to be okay." She had no idea that by Friday, her entire life was going to implode. Monday morning, I told Amanda I was going for a run. Instead, I met Isabella Mora at a beach bar half a mile from the resort. Isabella was a private investigator, former Costa Rican police officer, late 30s, professional, and discreet. The resort concierge had given me her card when I asked very carefully if they had anyone on staff who handled sensitive situations. I showed Isabella photos of Amanda and the yoga guy, David. I explained what I needed. Confirmation that they're meeting, photos of them together, statements from staff if anyone's seen them, security footage if possible, his real information, full name, checkout date, anything you can get from the front desk. Isabella didn't even blink. "This is not my first affair case. How long do I have?" 3 days. I need everything by Thursday. Cost is $1,500 US. I handed over my credit card. Done. The next 3 days were the strangest of my life. During the day, I played the devoted husband. We went ziplining through the rainforest. I acted enthusiastic, took photos of Amanda screaming with joy on the lines. We did a sunset catamaran cruise. I held her hand, kissed her when the sun went down, let her post a cute couple photo on her Instagram with the caption 15 years and still adventuring together. We had dinners at the resort restaurant. We walked on the beach at night. We had sex once. She initiated, and I went through with it. And afterward, I went to the bathroom and stared at myself in the mirror and didn't recognize the person looking back. But at night, while she slept, I was someone else. I was on the phone with James Corrigan, finalizing divorce paperwork. I was drafting witness lists. I was going through our financial records line by line, building a case for fraud. Because here's the thing Amanda didn't know. Using joint marital assets to fund an affair, hotel rooms, dinners, gifts for your affair partner, that's called dissipation of marital assets in California family law. And it's grounds for a civil suit, not just a divorce, an actual lawsuit. That $50,000 she'd spent on hotels and restaurants and gifts for David using our joint account, categorized as business expenses. I could sue her for every penny, plus damages. James loved it. This is going to be expensive for her, he said. Are you sure you want to go this route? Yes, I said. I want her to understand the full cost of what she did. Tuesday night, Isabella sent her first update. Photos of Amanda and David having coffee together at 5:30 a.m. before I'd woken up. More photos of them walking together on a jungle trail during Amanda's solo yoga class. Bartender testimony that they'd had drinks together late Sunday night after I'd gone to bed. Body language, close, familiar, intimate. Wednesday morning, I went for a beach walk and met Isabella again. She handed me a thick envelope. Inside, printed photos, staff statements, security camera timestamps, and David's information from the front desk. David Brennan, age 44, from Palo Alto, California, checked in under solo wellness retreat, but someone had upgraded him to the anniversary package, gold wristband. Checkout date, Saturday, same day as us. His credit card matches a David Michael Brennan, Palo Alto address. I found him on LinkedIn, marketing firm owner. I looked at the photos. There they were, my wife and her business partner holding hands on a jungle path, thinking they were alone. Thank you, I said. This is perfect. I spent Wednesday afternoon on Facebook searching for David Brennan's wife. Found her, Catherine Brennan, high school English teacher, married 18 years, 2 teenage sons. Her page was full of family photos, book club posts, pictures of her classroom. 3 days ago, she'd posted, "Enjoy your yoga retreat, honey. Namaste," with a photo of David's packed suitcase. I stared at that post for a long time. She had no idea, just like I'd had no idea 5 days ago. I created a fake Facebook profile, generic name, no photo, and drafted a message to her. Didn't send it yet, just wrote it, saved it, waited for the right moment. Wednesday night, I checked Amanda's phone while she was in the shower. Found the spa booking under her account, Friday, 2 p.m. Couples bamboo fusion massage, listed under Amanda Hayes plus guest. The guest was David. She'd booked a couples massage with him. I texted James, "The spa appointment is real, Friday at 2 p.m. She booked it for her and the affair partner." James, "Poetic, I love it." The process server's name is Alejandro Rodriguez, Colombian, very professional, has done this kind of thing before. He'll pose as the massage therapist. Papers will be ready by Thursday night. Me, "Both sets? Divorce and lawsuit?" James, "Both sets, served simultaneously. It's going to be quite a moment." Thursday, I didn't sleep. Not really. I lay in bed next to Amanda, listening to her breathe, and I thought about the past 15 years, our wedding day, the way she'd looked at me when we said our vows. To build a life together. The house we bought, all those weekends I spent restoring it while she made us lunch, and we talked about the future. Christmas mornings, New Year's Eves, inside jokes. The time I surprised her with concert tickets to her favorite band. the time she surprised me with a weekend trip to Napa for my birthday. The watch she gave me 3 months ago, engraved, "Time spent with you is never wasted." She'd already been with David for almost 2 years when she gave me that. How much of it was real? Any of it? Around 4 a.m., I got up, sat on the balcony, watched the stars. My phone buzzed. Message from Marcus. "You good, man?" "No," I typed back, but I'm sure. "She deserves this. You know that, right?" I stared at that message for a long time. Did she deserve this? The papers? Yes. The lawsuit? Yes. But what I was about to do, the public humiliation, the coordinated reveal with Catherine, the destruction of both marriages in one fell swoop, was that justice, or was it just revenge? I decided I didn't care about the difference anymore. Friday morning, I woke before Amanda, made coffee, sat on the balcony, and watched the sunrise, my last sunrise as a married man. Amanda woke up around 8, stretched, smiled at me. "Morning, big day, spa day." She looked genuinely excited. "I'm so glad we're doing this. We both need it." "Yeah," I said. "It'll be memorable." We had breakfast by the pool. Amanda checked her phone constantly, probably coordinating with David. I pretended not to notice. Around 11 a.m., I met Alejandro Rodriguez at a beach bar. He was exactly what you'd expect from a process server who specializes in creative deliveries. Calm, professional, utterly unbothered by the absurdity of his job. He showed me the papers, 2 thick manila envelopes. Envelope 1, divorce petition, citing adultery, irreconcilable differences, request for full division of assets, no alimony. Envelope 2, civil lawsuit, fraud, dissipation of marital assets, $50,000 in damages plus legal fees. "I'll enter the spa at 2:15 p.m., Alejandro said. "Pose as the massage therapist, Marco. I'll start the treatment, make it seem legitimate. 3 minutes in, I'll serve the papers to both Mrs. Hayes and Mr. Brennan. Then I exit. Resort security is aware. They believe it's a business document delivery. They won't interfere." "What if they make a scene?" Alejandro smiled. "They always make a scene. That's why I leave quickly." At 1 p.m., I sent the Facebook message to Catherine. "Catherine, you don't know me, but my name is Christopher Hayes. My wife, Amanda, and your husband, David, are having a 2-year affair. They're at the same resort in Costa Rica right now. I'm serving my wife divorce papers this afternoon at 2:15 p.m. during their couples massage appointment. If you want to witness it, I can set up a video call. You deserve to know the truth. I'm sorry to be the one to tell you." I attached the photos from Isabella, the text screenshots, the hotel records. Then I waited. At 1:30 p.m., Catherine replied, "Oh my God! Oh my God! How long? How sure are you?" 2 years, I'm completely sure. I have a PI's report. I'm so sorry. I want to see. I want to watch. I need to see his face. I sent her a Zoom link. The spa entrance will be visible. I'll have my phone positioned. It happens at 2:15. At 1:45 p.m., Amanda came out to the balcony where I was sitting. "Okay, time to go. You ready?" "Actually," I said, "I'm not feeling great again. Stomach thing. I think I ate something weird at breakfast." She frowned. "Really? But it's the couples massage." "I know. I'm sorry. But you should still go. You've been so stressed. Treat yourself." She looked disappointed, but not suspicious. "You sure?" "Yeah, go. Enjoy. I'll just rest here." She kissed the top of my head. "You're the best. I'll be back around 4. I watched her walk toward the spa building. White linen dress, sun hat, sandals. She looked beautiful, happy. She had no idea her life was about to end. At 2 p.m., I positioned myself at the beach bar with a clear view of the spa entrance. Ordered a piña colada, opened the Zoom call on my phone. Catherine joined. I could see her in a small window, sitting in what looked like her kitchen, crying but determined. "Is this real?" she whispered. "It's real. I'm so sorry." At 2:05 p.m., David Brennan arrived at the spa. I watched him through the binoculars I'd borrowed from the resort's adventure center. He was carrying a small gift bag, probably for Amanda. My phone buzzed. Text from Isabella. Both targets inside. Alejandro is in position. At 2:10 p.m., Catherine said, "I can't believe this is happening." I know. I couldn't believe it either when I found out 5 days ago. 5 days ago? You've known for 5 days and you planned all this? Yes. She paused. That's incredible. I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh, but God, I wish I had thought of this when I found out about his other affairs. I looked at the phone. Other affairs. This isn't his first. It's just the first one I have proof of. At 2:15 p.m., my heart was pounding so hard I thought the bartender could hear it. At 2:20 p.m., it happened. Amanda came running out of the spa building, actually running, barefoot, wearing only a spa robe, hair up in a clip, papers clutched in her hand. Other resort guests stopped to stare. She spotted me at the bar, about 100 yards away, and started running toward me. David came out behind her, also in a robe, also holding papers, looking shell-shocked. Catherine, on the Zoom call, gasped. "That's him. Oh my God, that's him." Amanda reached my table. She was crying, hyperventilating. "What did you do?" I took a sip of my pina colada. Very calmly, I said, "I think the papers are pretty self-explanatory. You've been served. So has David." David had caught up by then. He stood next to Amanda, both of them in matching white robes, both holding divorce papers, both looking like their world had just exploded. "This is insane," David said. "You can't just..." "I can, actually. I did. You're both being sued, by the way. See the second set of papers in there? That's a civil fraud lawsuit. $50,000 in marital assets used to fund your affair. Hotels, dinners, gifts, all documented. All coming out of joint accounts. Turns out that's illegal, David." Amanda was sobbing now. "Let me explain, please." "Explain what? The 2 years of lying? The fact that you started an affair the same month you suggested marriage counseling? The fact that this entire trip, our healing trip, was just cover so you could spend a week with him? What exactly would you like to explain, Amanda?" People were staring. A small crowd had gathered at a respectful distance. David looked at me with pure hatred. "You son of a bitch." "Oh, David," I said. "Before I forget, your wife is on the line." I held up my phone, turned it so he could see the Zoom call. Catherine's face, tear-streaked and furious, filled the screen. "Yoga retreat?" she screamed through the phone. "A yoga retreat! I saw everything, the photos, the texts. You told our sons you were on a spiritual retreat and you're screwing your business partner at a resort." David went completely white. "Kathy, wait. Don't. I'm calling my lawyer. Right now, you're done. We're done. 18 years and you threw it away for this?" She hung up. David sank into one of the beach chairs, put his head in his hands. Amanda turned to me, mascara running down her face. "Christopher, please, please, we can fix this. We can go to counseling, real counseling. I'll end things with David. I'll do anything." "Fix what?" I said. I was surprised by how calm I felt, how cold. "Fix the 2 years you spent lying to me. Fix the $50,000 you stole from our joint account. Fix the marriage counseling sessions where you sat there and lied to a therapist's face. Fix the fact that you brought your affair partner to our anniversary trip. You can't fix any of this, Amanda." "But I love you." "No, you don't. You love the life we had. You love the image of being married. You love having someone to fall back on while you fuck around. But you don't love me. If you loved me, you wouldn't have done this." She was hyperventilating now, couldn't catch her breath. David tried to put his hand on her shoulder. She shoved him away. "Don't touch me. This is your fault. You said you had a plan. You said we could do this without anyone finding out." David looked at her like she'd slapped him. "So it was my fault. I pressured you into this. You said you loved me. You said you were going to leave Catherine. You said we had a future. I never said that. And there it was, the moment they turned on each other. I stood up, left $40 on the bar for my drink. I'm leaving, I said. I changed my flight. I'm going home tonight. Your stuff is still in the room, Amanda. Your key still works. Do whatever you want. Divorce papers have my lawyer's information. I suggest you get your own lawyer. A good one. You're going to need it. I walked away. Behind me, I could hear Amanda sobbing, David trying to talk to her screaming at him to leave her alone. Other guests were filming on their phones now. This was going to be all over the internet by tomorrow. I didn't look back. At 3 p.m., I was checked out of the resort. By 6 p.m., I was at the airport. By midnight, I was home in Oakland. I landed at SFO around 11 p.m. Friday night. Marcus picked me up. Didn't say anything, just gave me a long hug in the arrivals area, grabbed my bag, drove me back to the city. We stopped at an all-night diner in Oakland, got coffee and pie. I hadn't eaten since breakfast. How do you feel? Marcus finally asked. I thought about it. Tired, hollow, like I just demolished something that took 15 years to build. She demolished it. You just made sure she paid for it. Yeah. We sat in silence for a while. What happens now? Marcus said. I guess we go to war. Divorce proceedings, the lawsuit. It's going to get ugly. James is good. He'll handle it. I pushed pie around my plate. I made her have a breakdown in front of 100 people, Marcus. I humiliated her, destroyed her relationship with David in the same moment, got his wife involved. This is going to destroy their business, their reputations, everything. Marcus leaned forward. Good. She cheated on you for 2 years. She lied in therapy. She used your money to fund her affair. She deserves every bit of what's coming. Does she? I looked up. I mean, I know she does, rationally, but sitting here now, I keep seeing her face when she was crying, and I feel guilty? Something like that. Marcus shook his head. Don't you dare feel guilty. You gave her 15 years of loyalty. She gave you 2 years of lies. You did nothing wrong. I wanted to believe him. The next few weeks were brutal. Amanda's parents called me, her mother crying, asking how I could humiliate their daughter like that in public at a resort. Couldn't I have handled it privately? I told her, your daughter humiliated herself. She made the choices. I just held up a mirror. Her father was more understanding, called separately, apologized, said he was disappointed in Amanda, said he hoped I could find peace. Amanda's younger brother, Jake, reached out via email. I'm sorry, man, I had no idea. She told us you two were just growing apart naturally. I didn't know about the affair or the lying. For what it's worth, you deserve better. Mutual friends started taking sides. Most sided with me once they heard the full story. Some stayed neutral. A few, Amanda's college roommate, her book club, ghosted me entirely. Amanda moved back in with her parents. At 39, she deleted all her social media accounts within a week. David's fallout was even worse. Catherine filed for divorce immediately. She went for everything. The house, half the retirement accounts, full custody of their sons. They were 16 and 14, old enough to choose, and they chose her. She told their church community, their neighbors, the parents at the boys' school. David went from respected community member to pariah overnight. His sons refused to speak to him, changed their Instagram bios to remove any mention of him. The older one posted a family photo, him, Catherine, and his brother, with the caption, "Family first, always." Pointed omission. David moved into an extended stay hotel in Mountain View, started drinking heavily, according to Isabella, who I'd stayed in touch with. The business, Morrison Brennan Marketing, imploded spectacularly. One of their employees had witnessed the spa incident, posted vaguely about it on Twitter. Just watch my bosses get served divorce papers at a resort for their affair with each other. They were on a trip with their spouses. I can't make this up. It went semi-viral in Bay Area marketing circles. Clients started asking questions. 2 major clients, both with corporate ethics policies, pulled their contracts within a week. 3 of the 8 employees quit immediately. They'd been given equity as part of compensation, and now the company was in free fall. Amanda tried to buy David out. Her lawyer froze his assets. David tried to sell his share. Amanda's lawyer blocked it. The divorce complications made everything impossible. By week 3, they had no clients left. The remaining employees bailed. The company dissolved. Amanda lost her income. About $120,000 a year gone, plus mounting legal fees, plus living with her parents, unable to afford her own place. David lost his income too, about $140,000 annually. Plus, Catherine was taking the house. Plus, he owed spousal support, plus his own legal fees. Financially, they were both drowning. And me? I threw myself into work, took on extra projects, started designing a community center pro bono, a passion project, something meaningful. My way of building something good in the middle of all this destruction. But I also started therapy, alone this time. Went back to Dr. Valdez, actually. Our first session after Costa Rica was awkward. She opened with, "I need to apologize. I should have seen the signs during your couples sessions." "Don't," I said. "She's a good liar. Professional level. Even I believed her, and I was married to her." We spent that session and the next 4 processing everything. The grief, the rage, the guilt. "You feel guilty?" Dr. Valdez asked in our 3rd session. "Sometimes, yeah." "Why?" "Because I destroyed her life. Maybe I went too far. The public humiliation, getting Catherine involved, the lawsuit, watching it all play out, the business collapsing, her family turning on her, her losing everything. Sometimes I wonder if I was justified or just vindictive." Dr. Valdez leaned back in her chair. "Do you regret it?" I thought for a long time. "No, but I regret that it had to happen at all. I regret that she gave me no choice." "That's different from regretting your actions." "I guess so." In week 3, Amanda called me, first time since Costa Rica. I almost didn't answer, but I did. "Hi." Her voice was wrecked, raspy, like she'd been crying for days. "Hi." Silence. "I'm losing everything," she said finally. "The business is gone. My family barely speaks to me. David won't even return my calls now. He blames me for Catherine finding out. I'm 39 years old living in my childhood bedroom. I have panic attacks every day. I can't sleep. I can't eat." I said nothing. I know I deserve some of this. I know I do. But the lawsuit, Christopher, you're trying to take $50,000 from me when I have nothing left. That's cruel. I felt the weight of it. Sitting in my temporary apartment, I had moved out of our house, couldn't stand being there, phone pressed to my ear, listening to my wife of 15 years beg me for mercy. "It's not cruel," I said quietly. "It's consequences. You used our money to fund your affair. Hotels, dinners, gifts for him. $50,000 over 2 years. That's not a mistake, Amanda. That's systematic theft." "I thought you loved me." "I did. For 15 years, I loved you. I built my entire adult life around you, and you threw it away for someone who won't even answer your calls now." She was crying. "I made a mistake." "No. A mistake is forgetting an anniversary. A mistake is snapping at your spouse when you're stressed. What you did, lying for 2 years, going to marriage counseling while actively cheating, bringing him on our anniversary trip, that's not a mistake. That's a series of calculated choices. You chose this." "I still love you." "Stop, don't do that. You don't love me. You loved the security of our marriage. You loved having someone stable to come home to while you got your excitement somewhere else. But you didn't love me. If you loved me, you would have ended things when you realized you weren't happy. You would have given me the respect of honesty. You didn't, so now we're here." She was hyperventilating on the other end. "I can't breathe." then hang up, get help, go to therapy, figure out why you did this, but don't call me looking for absolution. I can't give you that. We were supposed to be building something together, she whispered. There it was. That phrase, the one we'd used for 15 years, our motto, our identity as a couple. Yeah, I said, we were, and you burned it down. I hung up, sat there in my empty apartment for an hour, staring at nothing. 2 days later, Amanda's mother called again. Amanda had gone to the ER. Panic attack so severe she couldn't breathe, thought she was having a heart attack. They kept her overnight for observation. I felt a spike of guilt, then anger at myself for feeling guilty, then nothing. I texted Amanda, I heard you were in the ER. I'm not trying to kill you. Please get therapy. She texted back an hour later, you already killed the person I was. I blocked her number. In week 4, David tried to reach me, sent a message through Marcus's firm. Can we talk, man to man? I know I don't deserve it, but I'd like to explain. I told Marcus to tell him no. Marcus reported back. He's spiraling, apparently drinking heavily, lost weight, not handling the divorce well. That's not my problem, I said, but privately, late at night, I wondered if watching 2 people implode was supposed to feel this empty. By the end of the first month, both Amanda and David were essentially socially ostracized. Amanda's former best friend Jenna reached out to me. We met for coffee. I need to apologize, she said. I should have seen something. She was my best friend for 10 years. I had no idea. She's a good liar. She called me last week, wanted to meet up, wanted support. I said no. What she did to you was unforgivable. I realized then Amanda had lost her entire social circle. Everyone had turned on her. Part of me felt vindicated. Part of me felt hollow. Jenna leaned forward. How are you doing? Really? I don't know, I said honestly. I wanted her to hurt the way I hurt. Mission accomplished, but it doesn't feel the way I thought it would. Revenge never does. Yeah. By month 2, I'd settled into a new routine. Started seeing Dr. Valdez every week. We talked about grief, not for Amanda, but for who I thought she was, for the life I thought we had, for the future I'd been building toward that would never exist now. We talked about trust, how to rebuild it, whether I even could. Are you dating? Dr. Valdez asked once. No, not ready. When will you be ready? When I stop seeing everyone as a potential liar. She smiled sadly. That might take a while. Yeah. The divorce proceedings started officially. Amanda's lawyer tried to negotiate, drop the civil lawsuit. She'd agrees to no alimony, split assets 50-50, make it clean. James called me. She's desperate. You have all the leverage here. What do you think I should do? That's not my call. What do you want? I thought about it for days. Finally, tell them I'll settle for $30,000 instead of $50,000. She pays her own legal fees, no alimony from either side. I keep the house, buy her out at current market value. She can take her half and walk away. James, that's more than fair. You could take her for everything. I don't want everything. I just want out. That's mature of you. I'm tired, James. I don't want to spend the next 2 years in courtrooms. I want to move on. The settlement was reached by month 3. Amanda's parents helped her with the $30,000. She signed everything without fighting. Her lawyer told James she just wants it over. I sold the house we'd shared. Market was good. Walked away with $90,000 after the mortgage and Amanda's buyout. Found a loft downtown, industrial, modern, completely different from the cozy craftsman we'd lived in together. New furniture, architectural prints on the walls. My sister Sophie helped me decorate. No married couple beige, she said firmly. This is your space, your style. First night alone in the loft, I felt simultaneously free and lonely. Texted Marcus. I don't miss her. I miss not being alone. He replied, that's normal. You're allowed to grieve the partnership without missing the person. That helped. Month 4, I took on a pro bono project. designing a community center for a nonprofit in East Oakland. They had funding but needed an architect willing to work for cheap. I did it for free. Met the project team. One of them was a woman named Nadia, urban planner, late 30s, smart and funny, and passionate about equitable development. We clicked. Coffee meetings turned into lunch meetings. She asked good questions about my designs. I asked good questions about her work. It was easy, uncomplicated, Marcus noticed. You like her? Maybe, but I'm not ready to date. You sure? Because you talk about her a lot. I talk about the project a lot. She just happens to be part of it. Marcus smirked. Sure, man, whatever you say. Month 5, I ran into Amanda. Total accident. I was at a coffee shop in our old neighborhood picking up a latte before a meeting. She was in line ahead of me. We both froze. She looked different. Thinner, older, no makeup, wearing sweats and an oversized hoodie. Not the polished marketing director I'd known. Someone smaller, defeated. Hi, she said quietly. Hi. Awkward silence. The barista called her name. She grabbed her coffee, turned back to me. Can we talk? Just for a minute? I shouldn't have said yes, but I did. We sat at a corner table. She wrapped both hands around her cup like she was cold. I'm sorry, she said, for all of it. I know that doesn't fix anything. I know it doesn't change what I did, but I am sorry. I didn't say anything. I'm in therapy now, twice a week, trying to figure out why I did this, why I sabotaged everything. Good. I hope you figure it out. Do you hate me? I thought about it. Honest answer, I don't know. Some days, yes. Other days, I just feel sad. Sad for both of us. Sad that we spent 15 years building something and you destroyed it. Sad that I didn't see it coming. Just sad. She nodded, tears streaming down her face, but quiet. I don't blame you for what you did. In Costa Rica, the papers, the lawsuit, all of it. I deserved it. I'm glad you can see that. It destroyed me, though. My entire life fell apart. The business, my friends, my family, my reputation, everything I'd built, gone in a week. Yeah, that's what happens when you lie to everyone in your life simultaneously. She flinched. I know. More silence. David and I aren't together, she said, in case you were wondering. We tried for about 2 months after everything exploded, but we couldn't make it work. Too much guilt, too much resentment. He blamed me for Catherine finding out. I blamed him for pushing me into the affair in the first place. We fought constantly. It ended badly. I'm sorry to hear that, I said, and weirdly, I kind of meant it. I'm moving to Oregon next month. Portland, fresh start. Got a job offer at a small marketing agency. Nothing like what I had before, but it's something. I need to leave the Bay Area. Too many people know what I did. That's probably smart. Yeah. She looked at me, really looked at me. Are you okay? Are you happy? I'm getting there. It's a process. Are you seeing anyone? That's not really your business anymore. Right, sorry. We sat there for another minute. Then she stood up. I should go. Thank you for talking to me. I know you didn't have to. Amanda, I stopped. Didn't know what I wanted to say. She waited. I hope you find what you're looking for in Oregon. I hope therapy helps. I hope you figure out why you did this so you don't do it to someone else. She nodded. Me too. She left. I sat there for another 20 minutes, coffee going cold, processing. I realized I didn't feel the rage anymore, just exhaustion and something like pity. She'd blown up her entire life for an affair that lasted 2 months after it went public. Lost her business, her reputation, her community, her marriage, her financial stability, all for a guy who wouldn't even take her calls now. Was I glad? Sort of. Did I feel vindicated? Sometimes. Did I wish it had never happened at all? Absolutely. Month 6, the divorce was finalized. I got the official notice in the mail. Dissolution of marriage. Final. I stared at that piece of paper for a long time, 15 years, reduced to a government form. I took Sophie out to dinner that night. Nice place downtown, my treat. So, she said, raising her wine glass, you're officially a free man. Yep. How does it feel? Lighter, sad, relieved, all of it. That woman, Nadia, you like her? I smiled despite myself. Yeah, I do. But you're scared. Terrified. What if I can't trust anyone again? What if I turn into the guy who's so paranoid about being lied to that I sabotage every relationship before it even starts? Sophie reached across the table, grabbed my hand. You're not that person. You're the person who spent 15 years being loyal and loving and supportive. You're the person who tried to fix your marriage even when it was already broken. You're the person who, when someone betrayed you, set a clear boundary and enforced it. That's not paranoia, Chris. That's self-respect. There's a difference. I squeezed her hand. When did you get so wise? I've always been this wise. You just never listened. That night, alone in my loft, I thought about calling Nadia, asking her to dinner, an actual date, not just a project meeting. I didn't, not yet, but I started sketching designs for a personal project. A cabin in the woods, small, simple, sustainable, somewhere I could go to think, to reset, to breathe. For the first time in 6 months, I felt excited about something. 1 year later, a full year after Costa Rica, I'm sitting on the porch of that cabin I designed. Built it myself, mostly. Took 6 months of weekends, but it's done. Small place, up in the Sierras, solar panels, big windows overlooking pine trees. I come here maybe twice a month. It's my reset button. I heard through mutual acquaintances that Amanda's doing okay in Portland. Working, going to therapy, keeping a low profile, still single. Apparently she posts on Instagram now, hiking photos, therapy quotes, the whole working on myself aesthetic. I don't check her social media. Don't really think about her much anymore, honestly. David, according to Isabella, who I still keep in touch with because apparently we're friends now, which is weird, is also doing better. Still paying child support to Catherine. Still estranged from his kids, but working at a competitor agency. Dating someone new, much younger, 25 apparently. Some people never learn. Catherine's thriving, from what I hear. Still teaching, dating someone closer with her sons than ever. I sent her a card after her divorce finalized. I'm sorry you went through this, wishing you peace. She sent one back. Thank you for telling me. It was the hardest gift I've ever received, but I needed it. We're both collateral damage survivors. Both better off now, even though the getting here was hell. And me? I'm dating Nadia. Have been for 6 months now, officially. Took me a long time to work up the courage to ask her out. First date was terrifying. I kept waiting for some shoe to drop, some sign she was lying, but she was just herself. Genuine, kind, patient with my baggage. I told her everything on our third date, the whole story. Costa Rica, the affair, the revenge, all of it. She listened without judgment. When I finished, she said, "That must have been devastating." It was. Do you regret how you handled it? I did at first. The guilt was crushing. But no, not anymore. I set a boundary. She crossed it. I enforced consequences. That's not cruelty. That's self-preservation. Nadia smiled. You're not broken, you know. You're careful. I can work with careful. We're taking it slow, really slow, but it's good. It's real. I still see Dr. Valdez every 2 weeks. Probably will for a while. We talk about trust a lot, how to rebuild it, whether I'll ever feel completely safe in a relationship again. Last session, she asked, "What does trust mean to you now?" I thought about it. It means knowing someone might hurt you, but choosing to believe they won't. It means giving someone the power to destroy you and trusting they'll choose not to. It's terrifying, but I think it's also necessary. That's growth, Christopher. Yeah, I guess it is. This morning, sitting on my cabin porch, watching the sunrise over pine trees, coffee in hand, I realized something. I don't think about Amanda anymore. Not really. I don't check to see if she's liked any mutual friends' posts. I don't wonder what she's doing. I don't replay the Costa Rica scene in my mind. I'm just living, building, moving forward. My phone buzzes. Text from Nadia. Still on for dinner tonight? I'm cooking. I smile. Text back, yeah, looking forward to it. And I mean it. 15 years ago, I made vows to Amanda. We were supposed to be building something together. We use that phrase constantly. It was our identity as a couple, our shared vision. She chose to burn that down. She made that choice every day for 2 years. Every lie, every hotel room, every text message to David. Every therapy session where she looked Dr. Valdez in the eye and pretended to want to fix our marriage. Every night she came home and climbed into bed next to me, still carrying him with her. I didn't burn it down. I just made sure everyone could see the ashes. If you'd asked me a year ago if I'd ever feel whole again, I would have said no. Would have said I was too broken, too damaged, too paranoid to ever trust anyone. Would have said revenge didn't bring the closure I thought it would, that destroying her life didn't fill the hole she left in mine. And that's all true. But here's the thing about demolition. It clears space. When you tear down something that's structurally unsound, something that looks fine from the outside but is rotting from the inside, you're not just destroying, you're making room. You're clearing the foundation so you can build something new, something solid, something real. The space Amanda left, I'm filling it. Slowly. With therapy and friendship and work that matters and a cabin in the woods and a woman who shows up when she says she will. With architecture and community and honesty and boundaries, I'm building something new, and this time I'm checking the foundation first. This time I'm building with someone who actually knows what collaboration means. This time I'm building something that won't burn.